He promised me that I would take me home every year, and that he did.
When you moved to
When
Canada.
we moved to Canada. So I think that was the greatest thing, because had I not done that, I think I would have been more lonely. But and I waited the year, and then we would come home, and we were home, I think, 28 times in 25 years. Yeah, we were. So,
So you never really had time to miss home?
No time. He would, then of course we went many places and really a lot. But somehow since he took ill, I never seemed to be able to look beyond that. But in flashes it comes back to me that there was a life before his illness,
Yes.
How long was Uncle Bill ill for?
We were here in 2007, and at that time I think we'd gone down to Mexico that year, and for Molly's 70th as well, and we noticed then that he wasn't hearing us properly, and he was way back. He was talking about whatever we were talking about prior to another subject we started on, and then he came here, and then I wasn't aware too much about it, because it was Eugene said then that when I went to Derry he would be down the lane looking for me.
Aye.
And then we went back via Manchester, and I had, because I had bad arthritis, so the doctor says instead of standing I'll get you a wheelchair for the airport. So I was in this wheelchair and I was sitting there, and of course I had all this hand luggage, he couldn't leave in the airport. So there was this lady, and I said, well, I'll have to leave the chair and take everything with me, because he went to the toilet, and I was sitting reading, and the time was passing, and I wasn't aware that he hadn't come back. And I thought, where is he gone? And of course, when I found him in such a distressful state, and people were laughing at him because he couldn't know where the seat was to come back again. So that would be the start of it in 2007.
Aye.
And then by 2008. I think it was 208.
What was it then that he had?
Oh, Alzheimer's,
Alzheimer's.
yes. But we didn't know it was sort of, they were hesitant to diagnose it as such at that time. But then in 2008, he was getting so bad with his driving, that he was making an awful lot of mistakes on the road. It was just frightening. And yet I couldn't know what was happening. Anyway, and eventually then I sort of thought I'd get him you had to take a driving test, and I thought, well, such a long time since he took a driving test, I'll put him through this. And he took it, and of course he failed, and we were both broken hearted that day, because he wasn't aware that he was making so many mistakes going through, the stop signs and red lights and what have you. Yes, and so we had to get used to that, and then I had to get behind the wheel, because Carol, one of my daughter-in-law, says to me, you're going to be marooned in this house, you've got to get out behind that wheel. And so eventually I did.
So what age were you when you took your driving test?
Well, I had taken it years before in Vancouver, but I wasn't driving.
You didn't
I had 2 or 3 cars. We had one that we bought in California, and then Molly took that, and then I had a little Barbara's Toyota to begin with, which probably, as they say, there's mechanical things wrong with the Toyota today. I think there was. She almost got drowned coming from Pender Harbour once. She fell asleep behind the wheel, so at that time probably there was damage done to the car. Anyway, that's another story. Then we bought a little Toyota, another Toyota from a friend, and I was driving that for a little while. But when it came to winter time, I didn't want to drive, I wasn't happy about it. And then we have another one, a little
So
Chevrolet.
eventually did you stop driving?
He stopped driving for a while, and then when he lost his license, the car was it's only 4.5 years now, and so I drove it, and then we had a mishap, not a mishap so much, it was just a terrible thing that happened, because this caregiver was at the house, had to leave at 1 o'clock, and I was still in the church, and I left the mass, which I never did before, as the priest was coming off the altar. Consequently, Carmel said to me, well, I don't think you like driving on your own, I'll come with you. But I was getting great vibes from her that she was nervous, and we were waiting for all the crowd coming out, and in their droves, and they did, and I always waited until the last when people came out, because we went for coffee normally, but I was worried to get back. And anyway, I was backing out, and everybody had gone from the right of me, and as I was backing out, these people just almost dropped out of the sky, a couple with 2 children, and they even were parked in the wrong place. It was in a seniors parking. So anyway, as I came out, I seemed to catch them slowly, and they were screaming, and she damaged my car on what we call the bonnet. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't notice this until Keith, and then I charged me $196 liability because it wasn't undue consideration, and Glenn said that's most unfair. You weren't on
Was
the
that
road
your
or anything.
insurance?
Yeah, well, it was a news case is there. Not only does your ambulance turn up, your fire service turns up, and the police
all these
turns
turn
up,
up,
which
aye.
was unnecessary.
But it wasn't your insurance that went up every year.
Well, I didn't do the insurance. I cancelled it now, Davina, because I stopped
don't
driving.
Yeah.
Well, they told me I'd have to go through a test, and then Carol said her husband's just died. She's no fit state to take a test. We leave it, and then I went to Guadalajara in Mexico for they invited me down along with the 5 of the family, and we stayed down there 2 weeks, and then Carol then rang them on 15th, and they asked me then in 2 days from them to take the test. I didn't take it. So I said no, I'll just throw in the towel, and I paid the $196 because Glenn wanted to take it to court because he said it was most unfair, but you would have to cost as much, yeah.
No, it cost you more.
And when stress as well. So that was the end of that, and I've been out once up to the church and back, and I never took the car out again because I just felt as though when he was in hospital, you see, went into hospital, so I was just devastated. And so the car's there for me to take lessons again, maybe, and take a driving test again, I probably will.
Yeah, when you feel ready.
Yes, when you're ready.
That's right.
Yeah.
You see, when they look at your age there now,
Well, this is it here, same here.
78 to 80,
Yeah.
No.
But you're very, very much with it, Auntie.
Yeah, well, I said, but there are people out there
Who aren't fit. Yeah.
and there are youngsters out there too who are crazy, you see, because they're always joyriding, stealing people's cars, and just the same as it is here,
Very much.
So anyway, that was it, and then, as you know, he died, and as they say, life is never the same again, and that was life.
Now you're home here
And
visiting.
now I'm home now for Kathleen, our dear helper, and we just hope that we have, there is a miracle there, maybe,
Was this a planned holiday before that, or
No,
just
no, I wasn't going to come home at all, and because you see, I came home for Teresa last year, and he was in hospital at that time, or in the respite place, for 3 weeks, and I think that's when he really went downhill. He didn't recognise me when he came back, so because I think if there's any upheaval at all, they give them, they put him on, they sedate them, sure, anyway, that's what was wrong when he came home, So that's the story of my life.